I love trend trading. Trend trading is one of the most amazing strategies that you can use to dramatically blow up your account in the best possible way. But the problem that a lot of people have with trend trading is stomaching all of the little paper cuts that happen on the way to big profits. And I have a bot that I've been running on Altrady using WIF to basically prove the point of why trend trading is amazing, but it can also be a massive, massive grind. So I'm going to be going over this bot that has been running for the last 200 days here on Altrady for WIF using leverage, talking about my experience using this bot, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all in today's video. But first, before we get started, my name is Aaron Dishner from The Better Traders. I am excited to share this with you because for all of you that have been watching my videos, whether it's the daily market updates or it's the weekend videos that I post on Sundays, my guess is that you've noticed two books right over here. One of them is Trend Following by Michael, I believe his last name is Cohen. Covell. Close. And then the other one right there, this is actually a real copy of the Better Traders Journal, the thing that started it all for the Better Traders. But I want to focus on this book right here. Now, this book is literally thicker than a dictionary. That's because it's chock full of insights, tons of data, tons of interviews, where Michael Covell spent a good, 15 years interviewing, researching, collecting data, and sharing his experience as a trend trader to prove why it's great, but why it's really not for everyone. Most people cannot stomach trend trading for many obvious reasons. And we're going to go to the data to prove what I'm talking about. Now, just so you know, trend trading is very different, very, very, very different than DCA bot trading. For all of you that have used the TBT signals, you'll know right off the bat that my TBT signals are 100% profitable, whereas this one has a win rate of 27%. It's won 6, but it's lost 16 trades. And the allocated amount for this is a small little baby amount, but the reality is that it's made back the money that I put into it. And I have unrealized profit right now of $114, which is 264% greater than this. The reality for trend trading is that this is actually super normal. Your win rate is going to be pretty bad. Now, I could intervene, but for this specific bot, I've been letting it run on purpose, more or less hands-free, because I want to prove a point about trend trading. I want to scroll down here to look at some data. I want to help you understand how this works. Now, the first thing you'll see is that this is the entire life of the bot. Let me go ahead and just move my head just a little bit. There, I'll move. Sorry. I want to show you my cumulative PNL. This is ever since I ran the bot. First trade, loss. Next one, loss. Next one, loss. Next one, loss. Next one, loss. I'm really selling this, aren't I? Now, obviously, there are some wins that happen in here, but you can see during the worst low point of this bot's performance, I was down $216 on this bot, which is rough. But the reality of trend trading is that you will have, it's basically death by 1,000 paper cuts because you keep getting stopped out over and over and over. And again, I'm using leverage, so I need to use a stop loss. This is part of how it works. But all it takes is one glorious move right here from the 26th of March, and it closed here on the 16th of May. One trade alone made a ridiculous amount of money, over $380, I think is what it was. I can actually scroll down here and tell you. $346.98. One trade made up for all of these tiny little paper cuts. And then what happens? More paper cuts. But the position right now, if you're paying attention to this, I actually have a position that's an unrealized profit right now. So this means that all the little losses that I've had, this line's going to go right back up by $100 or so, 114. So it's going to go back up here. The purpose of a trend trading strategy like this is not the short-term view. I've been using bots for a long time, mainly for DCA. The moment I learned about trend trading and the power behind it and the understanding that I'm going to get lots of these stop losses triggered, it's going to be painful. But when I zoom out to see performance for trend trading, oh man, the big runners make up for all of the chop that happened before. Now, you might remember me sharing this specific bot. It's WIF on Altrady when WIF had a massive run up. I want to show you the chart in just a second to show you this specific position because it was incredible. And we're going to look at the current position. But before we do, I want you to understand this as well. One thing that people cannot stomach when it comes to using trend trading strategies is that the way I use this, I'm using a fixed percentage of my available balance for every single trade. So I'm taking advantage of compounding. But one massive drawback to compounding is that when you compound your gains, it's amazing. But when you have a big win like this, then that means that these little losses back here, which weren't that bad, $22, $26, $22, $25, $40, that hurt a lot. $64, that hurt a lot more. But after you make a really big win, having losses after that, ouch, 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 64, 15, 50, 42, it's going to slowly eat away at whatever you've earned, which can be extremely frustrating. But again, big picture strategy here. This is how it works. Again, it's going to be death by 1,000 paper cuts, but you will have one massive mega win that will make up for everything. And the reality of compounding is that this is my portfolio shrinking over time. So this win of $346 is incredible, but this is after my portfolio already got put through the shredder. So you can imagine that even with more of these compounded losses, the next time I get another real big runner, again, following the trend as long as possible, I'm going to see not $300, it'll be something like $900, maybe even $1,200. And that means that subsequently, losses after that are going to be much bigger. This is the biggest problem that a lot of people have with trend trading. It's not just about staying in the trend as long as possible. It's how do you deal with all the losses? And I will tell you, based off of reading his book several times and from my own experience, the moment you start changing your strategy is the moment where everything falls apart. This is the hardest part about trend trading. Staying in the trade is really hard, but not having, I think it's called strategy drift, is how a good Australian friend of mine put it. Not allowing your strategy to drift from the original design when things are going good or bad, that's the hardest part. Because as your portfolio begins to balloon, you're going to see these losses coming in. Now it's not $40, it's $400. The wins are greater, but so are the losses. And a lot of people can't stomach that. Now, I want to go further in this data to show you a little bit more information. And we're actually not the data. We're going to go to the trading terminal here on Altrady, and we're going to look at the current open position I have right now for WIF. Now, this is a baby position. It literally just started, and I have to zoom this in like crazy because of how things are cropped here. But you can see it's only been open for a day and 10 hours. Now, I have manually intervened, meaning that I am protecting profit on this position because of how how the crypto market looks right now. But the beautiful part about this is that this strategy will not ever catch the peak or bottom, but it will stay in the trend as long as the signals provide. And again, I'm using the TBO, which is the trending breakout indicator, which is perfect for this kind of stuff to ride the trend. So I'm currently in an unrealized profit of basically 16%. Now, I'll tell you this. Already at 16%, my profit is about 1/3 of that big mega win. That big mega win from back over here, which was $346. Isn't that crazy? So it just shows you how much compounding can really benefit and blow up your portfolio. The amount invested in that other trade was far less. Right now I have invested, and this is after 3x leverage, it's about $718. Going back over here, it was just $375. So there's a big difference when you start compounding and start growing your account. That means your wins are going to be much bigger. Just think, if I have another 90% win here, that means that this trade's going to be up around $680, $690, which would be great. Now, that also means that the losses are going to be more painful. And the other reason why I want to show you this is not to brag about this, but I want to zoom out to show you other positions that closed in the red. And this is what I mean by style drift. Right here, I had a position open, and you can see that it went up 9% in profit. You better believe me, when I saw this going, I was like, oh, I really want to close this, because this was after my big runner. This big winner that literally helped my portfolio to get back in action, even had the price go against me by a little bit. In total, it went up 130%. Actually, it went up 148, but it was really closed here at 75. But I actually took out some profits here at 113, took out more profits. Actually, it was automated here. So at average, I think it was like 93% is what it said. After you get these big wins, you're really going to be eyeing these new positions going, oh man, well, knowing the odds that it's like a 25% win rate, this is going to hurt. Now, I will say that there's nothing wrong with protecting profits. You will need to use some sort of backtester to do this. You can't just change whatever you're doing just because you feel like it. This is where our DCA backtester comes in play. We also have the TBO Pro backtester that I teach in the Mastering Passive Income course, The Better Traders. So one thing I could have done here is, being at 9% profit, I can actually use a backtester strategy on TradingView to go, well, now that I'm in 9% or 8%, whatever the percent is, I can put a stop loss here just in case the price pulls back. So that way I protect profits at whatever this was, 2%. Cool. And a 2% win is so much better than a 5% loss. And you can see this happened again, moving up 4%, getting stopped out. And this stuff hurts all the time. Look at where this got stopped out. Oh, this has happened multiple times, literally at the bottom. If only my stop loss was a little bit lower, I actually would have been able to ride this move up for 20%, which would have been incredible. But it got stopped out. It happens. It has happened so many times. Here we go. Another position that was in profit, about 4%, and then it gets stopped out. But the reality is that if I drift in my strategy, if I change my strategy based off of how I feel, I'm not really trend trading. Because let's go back to this real big win over here. And I'll explain these other things in a second. You can see here on this win, as the price went up, look, it actually went up 4%. If I had closed out some of the trade and profit and it got stopped out here, I would have missed out on the single biggest win for this strategy. This is why it's so important not to change up your style or your strategy. Strategy drift can kill your performance. So when you do this, or rather, let me speak from my experience. When I have done this, the way that I approach it every single time is just going to let the strategy do its thing. Now, you heard me say before, I did take profits out. And you can see clearly here, I have these red lines. Let me explain what's happening here. So on the 4-hour time frame, I have some fixed take profit targets just in case. Now, one of these is placed at a strategic level because of overhead resistance, which actually isn't right here, even though the price is literally smacking it right now. This is actually a much longer and older level of resistance, and it's right below it. I don't have any problems at this point taking a little bit of profit out at 28%. That's pretty good, because in reality, with the leverage, it's a lot of position. That's a lot of profit to take, and I'm just taking out half. Now, this other one up here, I have it at, that's the stop loss. Here we go. I have this one starting or taking profit at 103% based off of the performance of the previous run. Now, of course, I could change this and remove it. And the odds and the performance of this bot tell me that 100% moves are incredibly rare. But if it happens, I actually have a trailing stop here. And the trailing stop is about 8% below the price. So that means this trailing stop is going to follow the price as it continues to pump if that actually happens for WIF. But the point being is that, yes, you want to make sure that you're staying in the trend as long as possible. But given the fact that the markets are shaky, I'm also looking at this going, I really would love to take out some profit. And the cool thing is that, of course, I could change this. I could also automate this. I could send other signals from from TradingView to Altrady to take out profit at predetermined levels. But there's something to be said with protecting a little bit of profit, especially after making a really nice win and then having 1, 2, 3, 4 little losses like that. It can be painful. With that said, strategy drift kills. It will kill your strategy. It will kill your profit potential. So I understand that there's a little bit of cognitive dissonance here because I just talked about 100% or 93% win, not taking profits on the way up. But given where the price is, there's also nothing wrong with using your head to go, there is price-based resistance. And that's why I sold at 112% before. And I was satisfied with that profit. So understand that it's really up to you how you trade, but it does require a little bit of strategy, preparation, even using a TradingView strategy. And that's what we offer in Mastering Passive Income. Now, I don't talk about this course very much because it's our advanced passive trading course, our automated trading course. We talk about bot trading a lot. I actually teach you how to create a strategy like I've done for WIF. Now, the reality is that WIF has also experienced a ton of drawdown, but these big wins are making up for it pretty well. There's a lot of other stuff that I teach in the course, whether it's my golden ratio strategy, that's the foundation of our TBT signals, getting access to the TBT divergence indicator, the TBO Pro backtester, the DCA backtester Pro, strategies and tools to help you leverage hands-free trading as much as possible. It does not mean you're going to profit every single trade. I mean, I literally just shared my bot's performance with you. But looking at the long-term performance, this course will really help to take out a lot of the pain and the anxiety when it comes to actively monitoring and trading your portfolio, which is why I love this course. If you're new to trading, new to automated trading, don't start here. Don't do it. It's going to be too much. Start with 15 minutes to financial freedom. But if you're someone that has been using Altrady, you have taken 15 minutes to financial freedom, and you are ready to level up your trading, Mastering Passive Income is the best next step for you. The last thing I'll say about trend trading, and actually it's confirmed in this book too by Michael Covell, you will feel like the biggest fool when your bot opens a position and the market looks like there's no way it can go up higher. Where in reality, buying on a strong uptrend means that you might actually beat out everyone else that's waiting for a pullback. The other part that's great about this trend trading strategy is that you're going to be staying in the trend as long as possible for as high as my hand will keep going. And it's just going to that's the best part about it. That's where the strength lies in this, because that one huge winner is going to make up for all those little paper cuts that are extremely painful. Yes, there are ways to backtest it. Yes, there are optimal times to run a long only strategy. And starting in December 2024, it's the worst possible time ever. But I did it anyway as a test with a small amount, the amount I was willing to lose. And so far I'm net positive. So no harm, no foul. I'm doing all right. But again, this is not for everybody. Not everyone's going to love a trend trading strategy because it takes a lot of discipline and patience. And it really takes trusting in this strategy. I teach you how to do all this stuff in the Mastering Passive Income course. And I wanted to be honest about trend trading in this video, which is why I'm not saying like, oh yeah, everyone should do this. This is my experience using trend trading tools over the last 5 years. So when I really got into trend trading, it was about 5 years ago. It served me really, really well back in 2020 and 2021. In a bear market, not so well. So next year, the only kind of trend trading it's worth doing is shorting the market as it goes lower, in my opinion. And I will be changing and adapting my strategy to the market and then turning the bots on for a long position when we have our bottom year. At the end of that, when we reach the market bottom, oh yeah, you better believe I'm going to be going long only because there's a lot of upside potential. So it does matter when you run bots, why you run them, what strategy you use, and again, all that's taught in Mastering Passive Income. Now, I'm not the only sole source on trend trading. I do recommend you check out Michael Covell's book, trend following, don't download the PDF. Cough up some cash, invest in your education, and also check out 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom or Mastering Passive Income to learn more about it as well. But this is a great resource that you can use as well. Highly recommend the book. So let me know what you think about trend trading. Am I dumb for running a trend trading strategy on WIF? Do you think there's any more upside potential on WIF? I do, which is why I'm letting the bot run. I'll keep you updated on it as well. But let me know what you think down below in the comments. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.